So I got to playing with this color RGB color chart, and I noticed that if I started here, that the R started at 255, and as I went down here, the blue went from 0 to 255, and then once I got there, the R went from 255 down to 0, and then the G went from 0 to 255, and then the B went from 255 down to 0. And then the R went from 0 to 255. And then the G went from 255 down to 0. And then we're back at 255.00 again. So that's what I wanted to recreate instead of what they were doing on their code. So basically you hold red and green, and then you make blue go count up. So that's what I started here. I hold, or I set red high and green and blue to low, and then I take blue and I count up. And then blue stays high and then run red down. So this starts red at 254 and runs it down. So then we run red down, and then the next thing that happens is blue stays high and green runs up. So you can say blue stays high and green runs up. So that was the next thing. And then I want green to run high and blue to run up. Let me make sure that's what happens. So once this runs up, yeah, green high, and then blue runs down. Sorry, blue runs down. Blue runs down, yeah. So blue runs down, then red runs up. So red runs up, and then green runs down. So green runs down. And if I ran it on here, then it runs good. So I'm going to run it just that one section, and I'll delay, not delay, I'll two. Poop, 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 two. Conk chunk, and then conk chunk. Nope, not like that. Like there. Okay, so if I just run that part of the code, we'll see it run through all the colors. And I feel like the simulation doesn't show red very well, but I can't get it working on my actual board yet. But it works on the computer, so in theory, see there, now it's red, and it goes straight to white and then back to white. Because I make it blink 3 times. And then it goes through again, and it just starts there, and it kind of goes nuts. So I think it's pretty interesting watching it go through all the colors. So I was kind of having some fun with that. And I wanted to document what I did and how I did it before I forgot, because if nothing else, I've got it working on the computer. I just don't have it working on my board yet. So we'll see if and how and when that ever starts to happen. So I actually played with it just a second, and then I was able to realize if I change this thing from saying high to actually changing it to say 255, it started off and it looks a lot better. So it gives me the full red before it goes all the way. And then as you watch it, I took the other loop out too, so it should just fade through all the colors kind of naturally. And then it'll go wee to all the thingies, and then there's the yellows, and then there's the reds, and then the pinks, and then it's back up to the loop again. So anyway, I figured that I solved that problem by changing, instead of having that be low and high, I just changed them back to 255s and zeros. So that worked. Yay!